Peter Griffin awoke with a start, his familiar surroundings nowhere to be found. Instead, he was on a bus, but not just any bus. This one was flying. He rubbed his eyes, squinting at the colorful characters around him, none of whom seemed to be bothered by the predicament. Must have been a wild night, Peter humbled. Patting his belly, which was now clad in a black suit, he peered out of the window and saw an island approaching. Kids were jumping off the bus, soaring down with gliders. "What the f***?" he muttered. As if on cue, his body lurched forward. He was free-falling. Panic surged through him as he fumbled with his bag, somehow releasing a glider emblazoned with the words Victory Royale. He landed clumsily among the trees and buildings that looked like they were cobbled together by an ambitious 10-year-old. Peter stumbled upon a screen mid-game, showing his own face with the tagline, "New Challenger, Peter Griffin." It hit him like a sack of Joe's gym weight. Holy crap! I'm in Fortnite! The absurdity of the situation was one thing, but the real horror began as he realized he couldn't log out. Every time he tried, the world would reset, and he'd be back on the battlebus. The faces of the other players a mix of confusion and excitement at seeing him there. His attempts to communicate were futile. Everything he said came out as pre-recorded quips from Family Guy. His voice was his, but the words weren't. It was as if he had become a walking, talking advertisement for his own show, trapped in a never-ending loop of battle royales. Days passed, or was it weeks? Time was a blur of supply drops and storm ice shrinking. He'd become part of the meta, a character used strategically in a game he never wanted to play. The only respite he found was in the brief moments of the pre-game lobby, where he'd sit in silence, staring into the digital abyss. Then, one day something changed. He saw a figure, not like the others, but a shadowy presence, watching from beyond the island. It was as if the game itself was observing him, and in that moment, Peter understood the true horror of his situation. He wasn't just added into Fortnite, he was a prisoner of its code, an unwilling warrior in an endless battle for entertainment. As the bus took off again, Peter Griffin looked at the shrinking island below, a pixelated tear rolling down his cheek. He had become an icon in a world he didn't belong, fighting a battle he couldn't escape. His last thoughts before jumping was simple and clear. "Lois, if you hear me, please turn off the console.